Hello, it's me. These are your notes for the Pythagorean theorem and distance formula for Monday. You guys have already done this in 7th grade, but now we're just going to add a little twist to it and call it the distance formula. It's really the same thing. Pythagorean theorem has to do with this shape right here, a right triangle. Right triangle means this is 90 degrees. I've labeled the three sides A, B, and C. A is 6 units, 6 boxes. B is 6 boxes, and what we're trying to find is C. Now, you might think it would make sense that if this is 6, this is 6, and this might be 6 too, but if I just measure it with an actual ruler here, you can see that this is like 3.1 centimeters for this side, and if I turn it here, it looks like, well, about the same, yeah. Well, if I turn it sideways here, you can see that it's way more than 3, almost like between 4 and 5 units. So obviously the C is the longest side. And that side's called the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is the longest side, the side opposite of the 90-degree angle. Well, anyway, all you do is you plug these into this Pythagorean theorem thing called a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And you've done this before, except now we're just going to do it with simplified radicals rather than a calculator. So if a is 6, 6 squared, b is 6, 6 squared equals, we're looking for c, we keep it c. Square both of those, so it's 36 plus 36 equals c squared. 72 equals c squared, and now since we've done chapter 9, we know how to unsquare a square. You square root both sides, except this time we're not going to do the positive and negative square root because there is no such thing as a negative distance. So you're really just saying that c is equal to the square root of 72, and the square root of 72 can be simplified. Hopefully you recognize that it's 8 times 9, or let's see, how about 36 times 2? That would have made sense. So if this is really 36 times 2, the actual exact value of c is the square root of 36, which is 6 radical 2. Done. Easy stuff. That's the answer. The first 4 problems on your homework are Pythagorean theorem. Whatever value I give you, you use those, whatever values I give you, use those two to find the missing value. Okay, sometimes I'm giving you A and B, sometimes I'm giving you only B and C. Okay? Now the distance formula is essentially the exact same thing, except instead of giving you A, B, and C, what you're going to do is you're going to be given ordered pairs. So if I just make up some ordered pairs on a coordinate plane real quick, draw a quick x and y axis coordinate plane. There's my y-axis. There's my x-axis. And if I just pick a couple random points here, if I said maybe from here to, let's see, here. Now, these ordered pairs have coordinates. So this is -2, 3. So I'll write that, -2, comma, positive 3, left 2, up 3. The name of this point is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, positive 4, 1. Now what you have is basically a line that I could connect these two with, and I want to know the distance between these 2 points. Well, you see that this almost looks like a right triangle. If I can imagine that there's a line here and a line here, now it is a right triangle. And I can use the Pythagorean theorem to find the distance from here to here if I know this and this. Well, the formula for the distance is essentially, looks kind of scary, it's on your homework worksheet, but essentially what you're doing is you're subtracting the distance between the 2 x values. You're subtracting the distance between the 2 y values. Basically, you're finding how far the x's are away from each other and how far the y's are away from each other. And you'll square them. That looks just like that. And you're going to add the 2 together. And then when you have those 2 together, you're going to square root it, which is going to get c by itself. It's really just the Pythagorean theorem. So now, what is the distance from here to here? Well, we can just see it, it's 2. But if we use the distance formula, because on your homework I'm not going to want you to use the coordinate plane, you're just going to use this formula right here. D equals big radical x2 minus x1. So, under a radical, x2, I could call that x2, 4, minus x1. Now it's minus negative 2 squared. Get out of the way there, Y. Then I'm going to add to that y2, the second y, 1 minus 3 squared. And let's see what happens when I simplify this. Well, 4 minus 2 is really what? 4 plus 2 squared is really 6 squared. So could I just imagine that as 6 squared plus 1 minus 3 is negative 2 squared. And you should also recognize that the minute you square something, the negatives just go away. There will be no negatives left. So we don't have to worry about negative numbers because there are no negative distances. This is 36 plus 4. Right? Now let's think about this. This is 1, 2 units. 2 squared is 4. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. 36, right? Simplify that. The square root of 40 can be simplified to, let's see, 4 times 10, so out comes 2, radical 10. That's your answer for the distance formula. Now again, you're not going to be drawing any coordinate plane. You're just going to be given 2 ordered pairs. Let me show you what your homework looks like. You're just going to be given 2 ordered pairs. And you're just going to literally plug those ordered pairs into the formula right here. Remember, x2 does not mean x squared. It means the second x minus the first x. And y sub 2 means the second y minus the first y. So you're just going to be plugging those into that formula without the coordinate plane. I just wanted to show you where it came from. Okay, last is the midpoint formula. Well, I've drawn 2 more points on a coordinate plane. Let's label these. It's negative 3, negative 1. And the other one would be what? Negative 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 1, 5. And midpoint formula, midpoint means just that. Where is the middle of this? And you could guess by looking at it. It looks, I don't know, somewhere around here. But we're not sure. But there's a formula to help you find that. And again, the formula is right here on your worksheet. And you're actually averaging the distance between the x and y here. Okay, so see how you're adding the 2 x values and dividing by 2? Well, when you add 2 things and divide by 2, you're actually averaging them. If I had 3 items, you would add all 3 and divide by 3. But since you only have 2 x values, you're adding them up and dividing by 2, and you're adding the y's and dividing by 2. And really, this is just a big ordered pair. This is a point on a graph. Look, it's parentheses with some number, comma, some number. This is just an x value and a y value when you simplify it. So let's try that. So midpoint equals, you add the x values, negative 3 and negative 1, and divide by 2. Big parenthesis because it's an ordered pair. You add the y values. The y values are negative 1 and 5. So negative 1 plus positive 5, divide by 2. Now simplify. Negative 3 plus negative 1 is negative 4 over 2, which is negative 2. Negative 1 plus 5 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. That is an ordered pair that should be the middle of this line. And let's just see if that's right. Negative 2, 2 is located at negative 2, 2. Wow. Looks like that's the exact middle. That's the midpoint formula. And that's all you're doing today, except instead of doing it with a graph, you're using the midpoint formula. Yes, you have to memorize these for the test. Have fun. Good luck. See you when I see you.